just like this. I'm not gonna voice my frustration. Anyways, the video got messed up. So literally, from now on, I'm gonna put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Because ain't no way. But I do need a camera that's not my phone. I'll say that. A camera with a good microphone. But for sure, I would rather put my phone on Do Not Disturb because this person kept calling me and now it cut off the video. But anyways, still having a good day because I decided that I'm having a good day. Today is Friday, June 27th. You know, we got training done. Whatever else that's left, it's not gonna be based on what I retain. It's not gonna be based on knowing any information. So I'm stress free. Right now, I just need to get home. I'm not gonna be in the street. You know, I'm just gonna avoid spending money. So I should be good until Monday. Like starting Monday, since I got paid this week. This morning I got paid. I know I gotta bypass this week coming, and then that's the next focus, man. And then you know, we could get once my car is back up and running, that's when we could get back on schedule, because I really did have a schedule. I was supposed to take this trip to the Bahamas next month. That's a little setback depending on how much it's gonna cost me to fix my car. But either way, next paycheck we're gonna have the money to do so. And because I don't want to be responsible for a rental that's costing me almost $500 a week, then we'll get to it right away, basically. I don't know. I didn't get to touch on anything profound to what this thing is about, so I'll make the video a little longer. Maybe I'll go for another 8 minutes, because that's how much time is on the iPhone. Like I said, I'm recording from 2 devices, so if I'm not looking this way, it's because one, I started on the other iPhone first, and the picture look a lot better from this angle. But let's get a little profound. So yesterday, I know it was yesterday, I did the video in the dark, and I did a 4-day 3 video, and I also did a rent part 1. Now, should I do a rent part 2 today, or should I space it out? Should I wait till my channel has a little bit of friction to do a part 2? Because it starts looking crazy, right? Because I say it's freedom that, I get to do my thing while nobody's paying attention. Because once people are paying attention, then it becomes, it become like, influenced by other people, their thoughts, whatever. Which I really don't think my channel is gonna have a lot of people on it early on, but this is a purpose. This is a slow grind. If I had followed this passion, this goal, 7 years ago, I'd probably have the channel be where it should be. But instead, I'm starting 7 years behind. However, though, 7 years ago, I would not have been talking traveling. I wouldn't have known any tactics, any terms, I wouldn't have any stories. I got a whole bunch of stories, actually, from traveling. But 7 years ago, I would have been talking MGTOW point of view, which I still took the good out of it and threw away the the bad. So yeah, 7 years ago, I would have been talking MGTOW point of view, which I probably still going on, but obviously I'm not I'm not tuned in like that. But shout out to the MGTOW, man. That's my early introduction to this men's space that we're trying to create here. But that doesn't mean I have anything against women. I hate that we have to say this when we addressing men space. But that's just where I'm at right now in life. Like, at the time though, it would have seemed like I had an issue, and that's why I didn't begin 7 years ago, because that's all that was in my mind, and it wasn't quite original thoughts. It was, someone else's story, because 7 years ago I was only 23. But I was a very good student. I listened, I gathered information, and now we're here today. I mean, I stuck through it. Then we went from MGTOW, we embraced the red pill, we we moved on. We went free agent lifestyle, and then we wound up traveling. And as I mentioned on the rent video, I am not a passport bro at root, but I do root for them. I do big ups them, because it's just something. Whatever stigma you have about it, whatever somebody's doing, it really has nothing to do with the benefit it has for the core of betterment of men. You get one life. I see women travel, coming as they go. So if passport bros could get young men early on to want to do something for themselves finally, because as young men, in order to get ahead, we do gotta some of us have to skip college and go get a trade and stuff like that, and from that trade you start working and you start seeing some money after a year or two. And oftentimes those guys, they don't, like, a couple years ago, they didn't just think about traveling. They got with the first girl, or they started tricking, or they just got an apartment and lived a boring life. But now a typical 22, 23 year old guy, let's just say he went to get a trade and he started working, or I see a lot of guys are joining the police officers, they go into the army. If they have that opportunity, at least they could, on their little time off, or they get a flexible job where they book themselves a trip, whether it's to the DR, Colombia. I'm proud of those guys, because guys don't treat themselves unless a girl is involved, unless they're finally taking Tanisha out to dinner, or to the movies, to this and that. Oftentimes, like I said, those guys, they get a trade, they start making some money, they get some girl pregnant, they get on child support, and before you know it, that 22-year-old guy is 35 with more kids, and and his counterpart is well traveled. She's 25, but she's on vacation every other month, every 3 months at least, and she's in school. And women been doing their thing. So if it's passport bros that's gonna get young men to skip, don't fall into the loop where never traveled, never went to a nice restaurant, and just living basic guy life, You don't have to do that no more. So I am proud. Like I said, I'm not a Passport Bros, but I waved the flag. For the, you know, if the flag was there, I'd pick it up and you know, wave it around as if it was my flag. Because I know the story, I know the pain, I know the struggle, and I also know the other side. I know the relief, I know the benefits, and I've been through it in all angles. So if you're just watching this video because maybe it sounds better or whatever it is, and you want to know what I'm talking about, then watch the rant video. Basically what you're gonna do is be patient. The sound get a little clearer because I had the phone basically sitting on the bottom of my lip while I was laying down, so eventually I adjusted and the sound got a little better. So I think so you'll get the whole the whole spew of why I say that I'm not a Passport Bro, but I support it. But anyways, this is day 4. I am heading to the house. So, you know, I won't be in the street today. Not with a rental vehicle, not with my personal vehicle, driving Uber. So it's been a dry month. Maybe it's for a reason, you know. Sometimes you need a break anyways. So I'm gonna be chilling, just doing regular stuff. I got some food here I'm gonna eat, and maybe I'll do another rant or something under something else. But you know, I'll catch you on the next one.